Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending upon where you live around the world. Yes, what is this rat's nest of a model? Well, this rat's nest is an exploration of the different bracket options that we've looked at in the previous video. The one where we've got individual brackets bolted to the steel tubular hub. In red, the two different styles I'll discuss briefly, but one where the dimension is 50 millimeters to outside. That means that the end of the struts would have to be recessed somewhat to accommodate that, but it does keep the bracket a little bit tighter in design, but we'll go over that as well. It's also, these two brackets are the same, they've just got a different width. This one here is 50 millimeters inside to inside, allowing the 50 mil piece of timber to slot in there without too much problem. The problem being that 50 mil timber is generally going to be rough sawn, and rough sawn is seldom 50 millimeters, or it's not consistently 50 millimeters. So there's a little bit of wriggle issue there if we want to insert it into a bracket like this. The reason I modelled them up is because I wanted to see how much interference there is in the brackets. As it turns out, there's quite a bit, without having to pack them out. This version, one with the shape I like, had to be packed out by 10 millimeters for this one to clear. Now, this is the 50 mil in between one. This is the type of bracket I'd prefer to build. But having angles like this are going to be a little bit difficult in a home workshop. Possible if you've got a bending brake, a hydraulic press, you could do that. Don't know how easy. I've never had to do a great deal. I've used a bending brake for light material, probably half a dozen times in my life. I've made up bending brakes, and I realised just how much demand there can be on them to get accurate and sharp corners. More likely, in fact, I'll get rid of the struts, but more likely is as we're making the bends, we'd wind up with a bit of a radius on our piece of steel. We could clamp the centre piece, and probably by then we've already got a hole drilled in it, because that's the easiest time to drill it when everything's flat. But we could have just imagine a piece like this on both sides, clamped and held in a vise, and then as we bend the steel, we'd probably wind up with a radius of some description. Might be tighter than this, which would be kind of good, but nonetheless, there's going to be a radius on the steel. And for this shape, and this is an arbitrary radius, this had to be bulked out by 20 millimeters, and this one here by 5 millimeters. Just so that they would clear, assuming that we had this sort of radius in the real world. So that's a little bit of a disappointment. And I don't actually like this aesthetically. I do prefer this. And it's easier to whip a 45 degree off the end of the strut, the corner of the strut, than it would be a radius. So there's that. Now, the flip side is that you could say, rather than taking the 45 off, let's find a router bit that can whip the end off of the strut. Either or. I've shown here in fact we'll just get rid of some of the other erroneous items. We've shown here the positioning of the strut, of the hub against the struts. I just wanted to see what it was like in the model. Haven't really worried about taking the corners off of the struts at this stage, because really, how far do I go with this model? That's a good question, because we're looking at the problems created using this type of bracket. Come down here, we've got the same situation. I've just quickly placed in the model the examples. And we've got a little bit of interference here, so nothing untoward in this scenario. So that's good. Will they work? Well, yes, they will. Do I like them? Yeah, I kind of do. But really, what tweaked my interest was the model where I had the two half parts of the bracket. That's easy to do in the workshop, and the angles can be quite tight. But once you start doing a one-piece bracket, which I prefer for the looks, it becomes a little bit demanding. So it's one of those things, trial it and see just how hard it is. The brackets I've seen examples of, so they've had some sort of thought in engineering, whether it's professional engineering, but some thought in that department go into it. It was only 2 millimeters thick. And I'm going, I don't know whether I like 2 millimeters, but 2 millimeters, and it was, to be fair, a bit wider. So I could probably understand that. 3 millimeters is generally my default idea for thickness, but 2 millimeters is certainly a lot easier to do. Hey, put it this way, I've got some 16 gauge, which is about 1.6 millimeter steel out in the garage. Why don't I cut that and bend it up and see how hard it is? And that would be the question. Now this one here, sorry for all the zooming out in and out. I realise it's not so hard on my eyes, but it is for someone that's watching. So I apologise for that. This one here has a packer of 10 millimeters, and maybe this one here might need a 5 millimeter. Maybe, I don't know. Here's the thing. Why don't I make the ring bigger? Can I do that? Well, of course you can. And it may even be suggested. So this one here is 114 millimeters. That's the size of the steel that I can get here, or generally, probably get lots of other sizes too if I looked a bit harder. But 114 is from a company, a large company here that can supply this sort of material. And the next size up is about 140. So 140 millimeter ring would make this not requiring any packing whatsoever. And also, if I just go back and unhide everything, I'll get rid of the struts, some other things. Not that. Let's get rid of the red, and let's get rid of the let's get rid of the yellow. When we've got the original bracket here, don't worry about these struts. The brackets really do smack into each other in a lot of places. So that's when I saw that, I'm going, oh no. So why I had to look at the other, single piece ones that have got an angle on them. But then I thought, well, if I make a bigger ring, it takes care of it, or should take care of it. This one, we'll see. So that's the other option. Go back to a 2-piece bracket, one that would be dead easy to make in the home workshop, and just live with that. You would have to determine where the holes go, because I'm not too certain whether they're completely handed. They'd be off by X millimeter, but this is probably more doable in the home workshop than is the single piece bracket. But if you've got a bending brake or hydraulic press or something, yeah, you might be able to do those other brackets. It'll be a bit easier. I don't. I might look at making one up for these sorts of projects, but there you go. Okay, so that's a bit of a quick overview. So I've looked at the different positions for the brackets, see how they function. They function quite well, actually. But are they easy to bend? Are they able to be made in one piece? Do I need a bigger ring, etc., for them to attach to? What thickness is ideal? I've seen them made out of 2 millimeter steel. The engineering, if there's been any professional engineering, 2 millimeters is a lot easier to bend. They were wider, so it distributes the pressure around a bit more. It's got a lot going for it, I do have to say. the idea of having a single bracket in place. For the size of timbers that we're using here, this is 50mm, this is 150. A slightly wider bracket, maybe 100mm, is a lot of appeal. The wider we go, the harder it is to bend, especially in a home workshop vise or some such. So that's consideration. So on the pecking order, where do they sit now that I've looked at these different practicalities? Well, the tab plate still is place number 1. The tubular hub with the threaded rods, number 2, and this would be somewhere below number 2. We've got the layered tabs, still like that idea for all sorts of reasons, and I do like the donut with tabs. You recall back some videos. If you don't, you'd have to go search them out. I really like that for all sorts of aesthetic and practical reasons, but they're still lower down on the pecking order. This is somewhere down amongst those layered tabs and the donut and tabs. Just my terminology. It's not an official name, but it's not approaching at the moment the tabbed plate. In the next video, possibly, we'll be looking again at the tab plate, but the ones where they have the radius built in the opposite direction. This is just the shape of the steel hub, the steel tubular hub, or part of the hub. And therefore it has to rest on it, so that's the diameter of it, and that's the only reason it's that shape. But to construct these, it may be easier to have a concave cut, so that as you're coming up with your bandsaw or your jigsaw, it comes up along the legs here and just swoops across and continues down. I think they look quite neat. They look a lot lighter, but they shouldn't be any less strong or capable, says I with no engineering background. But we'll look at those in the next model, and we'll have a bit of a think about them. Rightio, that's it. I've just wanted to cover this one off. Yes, good idea. Yes, easy to build it in this configuration. Maybe a bigger ring required to get them away from each other. But do I really want to worry about it? Don't know. And as they're if they were so good, they would have had to displace the tabbed plate. I might make up a little model, see how I go with it, what I think of it, and if it does ascend somewhat, well, we'll look at it again. But otherwise, I don't think any more modelling will be done on this. Well, I won't be videoing any more modelling on this particular bracket. Okay, well, that kind of like sums that video up. I'll wander off, and yeah. The models that I will be making in the real world will have to be... I've yet to decide how much I can and want to do. At the moment, my energies and thoughts and focus is not entirely cohesive and focused, because I've got some other considerations, and I'm selling the house, and will be exiting my garage, my workshop, at some point. So we have to start thinking along those lines about packaging things up. And that may be a little bit more important than these models, but as soon as I get some stability there and sort out what I'm doing, I might make up a few real-world models and record that and tie them to these sorts of videos. Okay, well, yeah, a lot to look forward to, I can tell you, well, at least for me. So, right, we'll end it there. I'll wander off, and I will see you in the next video. Okay. Bye now.